You're moving to the Atlanta suburbs, and whether that's for a more affordable housing option, great schools that we have here, whatever the reason, it's a big decision and there's a lot of thought that goes into it. So today I'm looking back on all of the most asked questions that you guys have had and making sure that I answer them all in today's video. The number one most asked question that I get is, where in Georgia should I live? And that really is different for every single person. What kind of lifestyle are you looking for? Do you want to be close to shopping, or do you want to be a little bit further out where you might be able to find a home without an HOA? Do you work from home, or are you going to be commuting into the city? Are you looking for a community with an active HOA, swimming pool, tennis courts, tennis teams, or are you looking to have a house on Lake Lanier? First and foremost is going to be affordability. Average sales price is going to vary based on location. To give you an example, I pulled some numbers this morning, and currently there are 275 homes on the market in Alpharetta. 27 of those homes are under $600,000. Drive just 15 minutes to neighboring Woodstock, you've got 247 homes on the market, with 141 of those being under $600,000. Alpharetta is one of the number one places I get calls about, and with good reason, that if you're willing to be just 15 minutes out, homes become much more affordable. You'll find more of the affordable homes as you drive further away from the city. The closer you get, the more expensive you get. So areas like Flowery Branch, Buford, Brazelton, Houston, Woodstock are going to definitely have more options that are going to be more affordable. After really thinking about affordability, one of the next things that's pretty high up on the list to consider is your lifestyle. What does it look like when you're not working? And when you are working, are you needing to commute into the city, or are you working from home? When you're thinking about going outside and doing in your free time, are you going to the parks with the kids? Are you wanting to be closer to the mountains so you can go on hikes regularly? Do you have a boat so you want to be close to Lanier? Or would you rather spend your Saturdays or Sundays going to Avalon and going shopping, checking out the new restaurants? These are all things that are really important, and when you call in, it's one of the first questions that I'm going to ask you about, because it's going to really help us to narrow down our search based on what you want your lifestyle here in Georgia to look like. Can I get a home without a homeowners association? This is such a popular question that I actually did a full video on it, and you can check that out here. But the short answer is definitely yes, you can. There are multiple areas that you can get a home that is not in a homeowners association. These are going to be homes that usually are going to be a little bit older, maybe built in the 80s or 90s, because they're going to have a little bit larger lot sizes, and many times they're not going to be in a neighborhood at all. These are going to be in areas like Cumming, Dawsonville, Gainesville. It's harder to find these types of homes in areas like Suwanee or Johns Creek, Alpharetta, where these areas are a little bit more densely populated. One thing to keep in mind is a lot of people call in and they say that they don't want an HOA, yet they also reference some of the videos that they've seen and how they really love these specific communities. And these communities most of the time have an HOA. That's why the community looks as beautiful as it does. The HOA is the one that's maintaining the landscaping and keeping the pool clean and the tennis courts and all of the mature landscaping that you see. When you're thinking about an HOA, you really want to make sure that you're getting the value out of the homeowners association and that you're going to utilize all of these great amenities, because if you're not, a lot of times you're paying for nothing. I get asked a lot about new construction versus resale. Now, new construction is new and shiny. No one's ever sat on your toilet seat before or walked on your carpet. It's got the latest technology, but on the flip side, they've got smaller lots and many times much more expensive. Most of the time, you put down a deposit and then wait on the build process. So think about your timelines. Many times in the build process, there's going to be some unknowns and a little bit of flexibility needed. You may not even know your closing date until a couple of weeks beforehand, where with resale, we know the exact closing date right when we're writing up the contract. If you have your heart set on new construction, you're going to be a little limited based on area. Currently, right now, I pulled the numbers, and in Suwanee, there are 3 new construction homes available. Just on the street in Cumming, you've got 65. There are many different options in today's market here in Georgia. By the way, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home here in the suburbs of Georgia, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. And if you feel like this video has been helpful, do me a favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay, so this part is not going to be for everybody, but if you're a parent and have kids, schools is one of the main questions that you are asking about when you're calling in thinking about making a move here to Georgia. Having 2 kids of my own, I can attest to how important this is about where you live. I can tell you that Georgia is home to some top rated schools. You have multiple public schools with ratings of 9s and 10s. We have public schools like Buford and Jefferson that are city run instead of county run, more like a private school, even though it's still considered public. There's language immersion programs, IB programs. It's important to remember that ratings are not the end all be all. You've heard me preach this on all of my videos. I really feel like getting into those schools, asking for tours, and getting on the Facebook pages to hear what parents that are really in those schools are saying is the best way to get comfortable with the school that you're potentially looking at. Georgia also has many private school options, from traditional private schools to the hybrid programs where kids go a couple of days a week and then are homeschooled a couple of days a week. We also have a large population of homeschool co-ops. Now, if you're looking for colleges, we have some of the best. You've got Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State if you're leaning towards the technology or engineering side. We've also got a top vet program in UGA and fashion design over at SCAD. When you're making a move anywhere, obviously something that's really going to be top of mind is where are you going to work? Jobs in the medical field are constantly needed here, with some of the top hospitals like Children's Healthcare, St. Jude, Northside, Emory. With schools like Georgia Tech and Kennesaw State, we've had so many Fortune 500 companies move here, even companies like Google, Microsoft, and Facebook. Then of course, having the world's busiest airport here in Atlanta with over 104 million passengers served in 2023, pilots are constantly in need here at Hartsfield-Jackson. Georgia offers a lot of tax benefits for entrepreneurs, so Georgia is home to a lot of small businesses. So if that's something that you're thinking about, you would be right at home here. There are more projects being built as we speak, adding housing and jobs each and every day. If you're thinking about making a move to Georgia, I want to be your real estate resource. So reach out to me at ashley@myhaventeam.com, and I'll see you on the next one. So think about your